What's going on, everybody, man? We still talking about these tariff wars. All you see on the internet right now is tariff wars, economic wars, China and Trump and the standoff and this is starting to get a little bit, overwhelming. My name's Eric Brent. EB Crypto is what they call me. My channel is the Family Cash Machine. Follow the money, and I'm gonna cover a little different aspect today because I'm seeing so many different missed messages. It's almost like you don't know what to believe. But when you follow the money, which is the name of my channel, you start really getting down to the nitty gritty of what's really going on. Now, we all kind of know on the surface of what this is all about, but I want to deal a little more in detail with it. I'm going to share something with you guys. Like right now, when you go on the internet, what you see, how this is being covered is interesting. Now, I'm not going to go into these videos right now because you guys can watch these videos yourself, but I do want to share my opinion about what I'm seeing right now, which is mixed emotions. They're all over the place. So, right now, this one is saying UF tariffs hit hard, China economy collapsing. And you see a floodgate of videos that are covering how America's got China cornered and America is really winning this battle and China can't do anything. Then on the other hand, let me see, there's another one here. This is another perspective. And this guy is saying why the US will never beat China in a trade war. So it's again, like you don't know what to believe. If you're out there and you're just an average citizen in America, an average working person, you really don't know what to believe if you're watching on the internet. The beautiful thing about this age that we live in called internet is that there's a tremendous amount of information out there, to grab from. Information is so at your fingertips, it's not even funny, but the bad part about that is it's too much information out there. It's like you don't know what to believe. Like it's everywhere. Like I'm realizing that the Chinese government is a communist government, of course, and they are the masters at creating propaganda. Now I'm going to share this other one with you that I saw. This guy here is doing a lot of videos. As you can see, he's Chinese, and his opinion is always slanted towards the Chinese opinion. Now, what is he saying? U.S. just canceled major China tariffs as Washington braces for Beijing's treasury dump. So he's always, I've looked at like I'm not going to say always, but I've looked at the last maybe 7 or 8 of his videos, and every one of his videos is biased towards China. Now, I'm not saying he's working for the Chinese government. I don't know. I would be not, wouldn't it be wise for me to say that? But I am going to say that, the Chinese government does have a lot of spies out there. They do have a lot of spies out there, and their job is to create propaganda. Now they have um, propaganda people, journalists on their payroll here in America. They have congressmen that we find out that are propagandists for Chinese government here in America. There's a huge undercurrent current of propaganda individuals here in the United States that work for the Chinese government. That's been established years ago, and I think like you can tell them by their message. So when you go on the internet, you see all this different information. America's winning this war, or China's going to win this war. America can't go to the trade war with China. This is all very interesting because at the end of the day, from my vantage point and from my research of an economic person who I've been pretty much in economics, financial industries my whole adult life, from real estate to trading. I've always been dealing with some type of economic industry, even when I was doing corporations and helping people with their corporations and stuff like that. So I'm going to say this. From my research, tariffs is not a good deal. It's not ever going to be a good ending with a tariff war. a trade war. Because again, I'm going to reiterate what I did on my last video. No country is independent, not single one. But we all are interdependent on each other for something, whether it's natural resources, whether it's minerals, whatever it is. Every country needs another country for something. So this whole mindset of do as I say, or I'm going to cut you off. It's almost like the left hand saying, I'm going to cut you off, right hand, because I'm left handed and I don't need you, right hand. I mean, you still at some point need your right hand. So I'm noticing that this is very, very damaging to both countries. Now, I did realize that Trump has information on the Chinese government, which we all have seen in the last few years. China economy is not looking too good. And remember, Trump is the art of the deal. He wrote a book called the Art of the Deal, and he's a master with uh, you know, doing these type of merger deals or inquisitions or whatever you want to call them. He's a master at that. So I'm pretty sure he's looking at it from a business perspective of, first of all, China's, their real estate has just crashed. They overbuilt their real estate, and now they have so many vacant homes and apartments. You can pretty much put the entire United States population in the overbuilt properties that they have. That's how bad it is. Then we have a situation where there's not enough jobs. You got like 1.5 billion people in China. There's not enough jobs for everybody. So they saw that they were making money with manufacturing, so they continued to over make more manufacturing companies to a point where they have more products than they can actually sell, even if it wasn't tariffs right now. So this is the huge issue with China. And also, Trump is realizing that there may be a little bit of friction in the Chinese government with their leader, Xi. I can't pronounce his name. Excuse me. You guys know the leader, the supreme leader of China. There's some things going on. I've been listening to some Chinese news, and I'm seeing where there's some things going on with his cabinet and some people in one of his right hand men and one of the right hand women that he hired. That they're having a lot of static with Chinese government. They've been investigated for certain things. His two generals are being investigated. There's some things going on there where it looks like he's still in control, but he's having some control issues right now. And this is before the tariffs. So if you're a businessman and you're looking at all of these inside of a, like say some corporation having inside struggles with management or their staff, and they're having some financial problems, this is when you put your bid in. This is when you hit them hard. So this is what Trump's strategy is. Now, I thought it was quite interesting that I'm watching these two go at it. And Trump is saying, oh, 35%. And then China goes up, oh, we're going up 84%. Then Trump's going up 125%. Then China goes up 100%. I'm noticing they're not budging. Nobody is blinking an eye. And I sat back and I said, okay, China needs America. America needs China. Let me see who's going to blink first. Let me just see who's going to blink first. And lo and behold, yesterday, the White House came out with an announcement. Oh, but we're going to exclude all of the electronics from China, and we're going to allow computers and radios, and we're going to allow phones and, all the electronics, iPads or different pads and different phones and all electronics, microchips, semiconductors, which we need for our cars. We're gonna let those go. We're not gonna tax those. Duh. We cannot survive on the level and thrive at the level we've been on without China's manufacturing. It is what it is. And China cannot survive and continue to thrive without the US consumerism and that US mighty dollar. It is what it is. We both need each other. But I have to concur with President Donald Trump, and I have to concur with the business industry in regards to China's techniques. And I'm going to go into a little bit scenarios with that. I'm not going to go too much in details. I'm not going to show you a lot of charts. I'm not going to do all that. We're just going to speak plain. Okay. We'll speak plain to you. Now, for years, the American corporations have decided, oh man, there's so much cheap labor in China. We're going to send all our manufacturers to China because the taxes are cheaper, the labor is cheaper. And anybody knows anything, I used to appraise businesses. I used to do appraisals for businesses. So when you're dealing with manufacturing, when you're dealing with companies that produce a product, the number one expense probably is the labor. Okay, usually the materials and stuff they're using are not that expensive, or it's not the number one cost of the particular manufacturing. It's usually the labor. So we can get cheaper labor costs. This has been going on for 40, 50 years. In the last 20 years, it really escalated where I'll say 30, 20 years or so, 30 years, about the last 30 years, 25, 30 years, huge amounts of corporations and manufacturing have been going to China. This was done by America. This was done by CEOs of America. This wasn't China that did this. This was greed. This was, you know, us. I'm not mad at a businessman for trying to make more profit. I mean, that's the number one thing you're going to do is try to maximize your profit and minimize your expenses. So this has been the trend. And I'm not faulting China for accepting these businesses in their country or accepting the orders of manufacturers. What the problem is with China is this: since the inception of their corporate boom and manufacturing boom, they have been a closed market. So, this is what I'm saying. There's nothing wrong with taking care of your own people. I'm not going to say that. It is not bad for a cow to look out for other cows, or a dog to have compassion for other dogs, or a Chinese to have compassion for other Chinese and to have the best interest for Chinese, black people to have the best interest for black people, white people to have the best interest for white people. There's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is this: when China uses an open market like in America, when you go to Amazon, Amazon don't just hire Chinese. Amazon don't just hire black people. Amazon don't just hire Mexican people. Amazon opens up and hires anybody. Anybody could be a driver. Anybody could be in the work in the warehouse. It's not based on your ethnicity. But what China has done, recently I saw an order that came from Shin to an individual that I know. I'm not going to say their name. And the driver that delivered it was not from Amazon, was not from the postal office. It was a private company, Chinese company, that delivered it. So what I'm saying is, I'm trying to give an example here. Okay. The example I'm giving is there's nothing wrong with Chinese looking for Chinese. There's nothing wrong with it. But when you're utilizing the American business type, the capitalism, free enterprising, equal opportunity, when you're using that system to make money and you're using the American business industry, which is a multifaceted, multiracial uh, um, business type in America, and most companies have quotas where they have to hire so many different ethnicities. China doesn't do that. So if we set up a corporation in China, China is going to basically hire all Chinese. There's not going to be any other ethnicity to advantage from that but their people. Then also what China is going to do is continue to use the American system, which is a multicultural system. When you say I'm American, that you could be Chinese American, Hawaiian American, Polynesian American, Korean American, Jamaican American, Dominican American. So many that doesn't cover one race. But the Chinese have closed off all capital to any outside races but the Chinese people. But they continue to utilize a multicultural free enterprising system to make their profits, but they won't allow anybody else to make profits with their money. I'm gonna give you another example. The Chinese make iPhones. They got an iPhone shop over there where some of the outsourcing of the manufacturing is there, but Chinese don't have iPhones. They use Huawei. They use a Chinese company. You see what I mean? They have some parts, American parts, car parts that's made in China. But guess what? Chinese drive Chinese cars. So again, there's nothing wrong with, I'm not going to say they're wrong for looking out for their people, but where it goes sour at and where it's not right is when you're utilizing the American system, exploiting the American system, but you won't let anyone come and exploit your dollar or share in your business and share in your entrepreneurism and share in your trade value. Now it's a problem. This is what they've been doing. And so they just constantly helping to feed their people, taking American dollars, taking European dollars, taking South American dollars, and only feeding those dollars back to their people, but they won't let other countries and other currencies come and join in their business. That's wrong. That's what we got a problem with them. But they haven't changed. They've been doing this from day one. And America knew they were doing this, but now it's gotten to a point where Donald Trump is like, okay, I'm in office now, and I see you have a weakness. I see with the one belt, one road, and I anticipate, and I suggest everybody on this video go watch One Belt, One Road. There's 6 different episodes showing you, and this is about 8 years ago, showing you how China has went to Jamaica, loaned Jamaica money, and they control all their ports now. They control their airport. They've loaned money to different countries all around the world, help their infrastructure, help build roads, help fix bridges, and looked and they came in like the friend, but they gave them leverage to control certain aspects of trade, certain aspects of government, certain aspects of their finance. This is what they did all over the world. And they overextended themselves too much to where they've given out so much money at high interest rates where these countries can never pay back in the anticipation of a China takeover of the world. And now, because their real estate is crashing, their dollar is not as strong as the US dollar, and they have a deficit, it's looking further and further and further away from that thing happening. Okay. So, again, this is the problem with China is that this closed mindset, you know, has become a problem. So, there's several countries like Vietnam. There's, I think, 70 or some countries that are all coming to agreement with America, not to just, okay, we're not going to charge America for products. And America saying, we're not going to charge you for our products. But they all are coming together against China because everybody is tired of this. Okay, I can exploit you, but you can't exploit me. I can do business with your country, but you can't do business in my country. This is a big problem. This is a huge problem. And it's kind of like the same mindset as, okay, China's saying, okay, I want to play baseball with you guys, but the rules don't apply to me. You have to abide by the rules, but I'm not going to abide by the rules. This is what's been going on. China has joined the World Trade Organization. And when they joined the World Health Trade Organization, they have never abided by any of the rules in the World Trade Organization. But all the other countries have to abide by the rules and pay penalties if they don't abide by the rules. Millions of dollars in penalties for not abiding by the rules. But China is, nobody's holding them accountable because nobody can go to the Chinese court and file against the Chinese people. So this is the problem. It's been a problem for a while. So Donald Trump is saying, you know what? I see you weak right now. I see there's a weakness there. I see you having some leadership problems. I see you're having some financial problems. And if I hold back on the American consumerism, it will force you to come to the table to me and the world and change your trade strategies because so far it's been one-sided. So far, you haven't abided by none of the rules in a free trade, globalized world, globalization, but you utilize and benefit from free trade and globalization. But when it comes to China, all hands off. Nobody could touch Chinese money. Nobody can touch the yuan. Nobody can sell anything to our people. Nobody can set up companies over here. That's where it went left. Okay. Again, I'm just trying to get to the simple part of this problem, why America had to deal with it. Now, I wasn't too fond of the way we dealt with it. Like, it's like they say, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. So I wasn't too happy about how we did this John Wayne mindset, high noon, do what I say by this time, or it's a gunshots coming, that whole mindset, it created the standoff. It created China to go, whoa, we're a superpower now too. And it's not nothing we can do about it now. We can't take away their superpowerism. They got nuclear weapons. They got more tanks than we do. They got more vessels than we do. They got more foot soldiers than we do. It is what it is. China is a massive, massive force to deal with right now. Militarily, they got satellites everywhere. They got spies everywhere, and they have a lot of money to pay for propaganda. And this was what they do. They spin propaganda. Even in Washington, D.C., there's a lot of congressmen that will get out there and spin propaganda for China. Believe it or not. We have spies and agents, provocateurs that you might think is your congressmen, but they actually spinning propaganda for China. It's deep. So this has been going on for a while, but at the same time, you guys, who's going to win? I say nobody's going to win because the way things are interwoven, everything's interwoven. Nobody's going to win if it's just no more trade with China. If it's no more trade with China, a lot of car companies will have to shut down, lay off, because a lot of those parts is coming from China. The semiconductors for cars are coming from China. Well, they already, oh, we're not going to tax those. Of course, you're not going to tax those. No helicopters, flyer, the jets, airplanes, cars, computers, all this stuff depend on semiconductors. And so they have to exclude computers. We all need this stuff. We need all of this. This is America is too dependent on this stuff. And China right now is I'm seeing propaganda videos where the Chinese government, I know, put these videos out, but they use individuals like the guy I just showed you. I'm not saying he's one, but I'm saying I saw a video where they were showing 2019 videos. People, around the COVID time, 2020, it was like rushing the stores, and they showed us some videos from Black Friday where people were fighting in the stores, and they saying that this is what America's doing because of the trade wars. It's funny to me because it's propaganda. They show videos. Listen, the Chinese government is showing videos to some of their people of the like I said, when they had the COVID or when they had some Black Fridays. I remember those videos. Some of them was Black Friday videos that they're showing people fighting for products and stuff, and they telling them, "Oh, this is what's going on in America because of the trade wars." That's propaganda. And don't think for 1 minute the American government don't do the same thing. They show you some videos. In some of the videos, they show factories breaking down, people, passing out in the street and having, there's some truth to it. There is some truth to factories closing. There is some truth to people here are going to hurt from this uh, economic war. But I'm telling you, there's a huge propaganda machine that continues to work in all governments. This is why I do my own research. This is why I don't rely on ABC, CBS, CNBC. They lie because they have an agenda, and because they are connected to government, they are connected to the international bankers and the people that run the world. So they have a certain narrative they're trying to feed the public. Because remember, government is from two root words. I used to study etymology in college. So the root word of government is comes from German. I think German gouverne, which means control, and mint, which means mind. So government means to control the mind. That's what it means. No government on this planet is for the people. Not one. They all are not for the people. And this is why I do my own research. I do my own, background checks and cross reference. I don't just take, the narrative of the mainstream because it's usually propaganda. But with that, you guys, hey, again, nobody's going to win this war. This is going to be a very uh, tumultuous time. Hopefully, they come to a settlement with this. But I think that Donald Trump is mastering this play of like a corporate takeover. Not that he's going to take over China, but he's hitting them while they weak right now. And eventually, some of the people in China could turn against their leadership. If they get too bad. So he's creating a situation where he's forcing them to negotiate and come to the table and play a little more fair because they haven't been playing fair. And this is the problem in the world. So hopefully they'll get some more things resolved. But I thought it was funny that we blinked first. We blinked first. Like I said yesterday, the announcement came out that we're gonna exclude all of the electronics from the tariffs. That was quite interesting. I thought that was funny to me though. And some people are pissed off, like, no, man, we need to just keep mashing on China. No, but we can't. We can't do that right now because when you talk about shutting down all trade with China, this will affect hundreds of thousands of jobs here in the United States and thousands of businesses. Like I said, Amazon, over 50% of their products is coming from China. So this can't go too long. It's not good for any of us, China or America. This is not good. This has to be resolved because at the end of the day, it's not a win-win for nobody. It's a lose-lose on both sides. So with that, I'll go ahead and close out. This is EB Crypto signing out. You guys, Family Cash Machine, follow the money, and we're gonna see you guys on the next video. Deuces.